All right, friends, today we're going to take this lovely work of art and make it into a beautiful, colorful thing. We're going to use our regular Crayola colored pencils and this fat butt Sharpie right here. Now, first thing you're going to do is outline the entire thing in black Sharpie. However, make sure you protect the surface of your table with some scrap. And like that, it's instantly covered in Sharpie. And look underneath the Sharpie is a whole big fat mess. So make sure you put down your paper. Notice these little guys right here are still in pencil. I made the aesthetic decision to leave those pencil because I'm going to erase them and really focus on the design. Now, all of the lines are mostly erased with my gigantic eraser, and I'm going to show you a couple of different things today. We're going to talk about color with colored pencils using value scale, and we're also going to talk about complex color. So we're using simple color and complex color, both. And the way we're going to start this is we're going to look at, in each little section, I'm going to show you a different way to do things. So the first section, let's focus this E right here. I would like this to be blue. So we're going to start off using a value scale so that it goes from dark all the way to light. Now, I'm going to just do this as all one dark, all the way across. You've got to be real careful not to cover up the black. The black is going to get drawn across and you're not going to like it as much. You're going to have to fix it. So I'm going to start off just going across this whole area a little darker. Notice how solid and waxy the colors are. And then I'm going to start to get a little bit lighter. So we'll go from, normally if we're using graphite, we would go from black to dark gray to middle gray to light gray to white. Well, now since it's blue, which is going to be dark, it's going to be as dark as you can get it. And then you're going to lighten it to some, what we would call dark blue. And then we'll lighten it to some light blue. And then we'll lighten it. There's a little bit dark in there. And then we'll lighten it as it comes across and go all the way to white. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side because I want this curve to feel kind of three-dimensional, right? So we're going to do some dark on this side. We're just using one color right now. This is our simple color. I'm going to put a little bit of dark. Use my value scale. Value scale is very important. Okay, so dark all the way around the bottom there, and then we're going to slowly lighten it so that it gets lighter. So I went from dark to light to dark again. Now, this looks okay, but it's not really advanced. And what we're trying to do, I'm going to smooth this out because I don't want to see any lines. I just want it to be nice and smooth. And I had a little line there, so I had to adjust it because drawing is a series of corrections. I'm going to say that 10,000 times. Now, the way to make this really, really nice is to add some black and some white. In the lightest areas, we're going to do something called blending. And we're going to really make all of this stuff just as waxy and smooth, but we want it to stay light. So we're going to add that waxy, smooth element. There's that line right there, right where my pencil line was. We're going to blend together all that light blue. We're going to make it blend really smooth, almost like paint, into the darker blue. So blend, 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 blend. There we go. So it's blending. Now, if you have a line like this, you could probably come back in and adjust it with a little bit more blue maybe. But the problem is that I dented the paper in, so it's got a little line in there. So blending. There we go. Now, this looks a lot better. However, it'll look even better if I add some value with shading. Black is your best friend color pencil. Well, the white is your best friend for highlights, right? That's all our highlights. The black is going to just really make this look three-dimensional. So now I'm going to go to my darkest blue. I'm going to bring in some nice smooth shading from dark to light. And I'm going to do little circles because streaks are going to happen if I don't use little circles. I don't want streaks. So I'm going to do some little circles, dark to light value with the black right on top of that blue. Now, if you can't get the blue to blend, or the black to blend very well on that blue, take another little black or another blue right on top of it. You can blend it. It'll blend a little bit more because we're using the color pencils to blend things. So I think that I need to bring a little bit more black. It's going to make it nice and three-dimensional. This is going to add depth. It's going to look really, really nice. I'm going to blend to my black a little bit more. You just kind of have to go back and forth quite a lot. So the difference now is that this looks real three-dimensional and this just looks kind of flat. So let me add a little black to this side and we'll make this round part of my E's. We're going to add in some shading and it's going to be dark to light value scale with black right on top of the blue. And I'm going to let it get a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter. And the trick is little circles, so dark to light. And if you have too much black, guess what you can do to color pencil? You can lighten it. So let's say you want a really bright light white spot. You can erase it. And it should lighten right back out of there. So whenever it's waxier, it's hard to do, but it will. You can erase it, especially with a large eraser. I'm going to go back with the blue, blend a little bit extra just to make sure that the black is nice and blended. So now when we look at it, it's got a really nice three-dimensional quality to it. Now let's say you would like to do the same type of thing, but you really want to emphasize the individual letters. You could do that right here, right down the center. You could do the same type of thing, but instead of putting your dark at the edges, you could put your dark in between. So let's try a different color. So let's do red. We're going to make it dark red right here. And I'm going to make the dark kind of curve around the curve right there. And then I'm going to make it get lighter. And it's got to go from dark to light. It'll almost look kind of pink, right? And then the same thing here. On the edges of my Y, I'm going to put dark on both sides, and then I'm going to get them light on each end, and then it's going to end lighter in the center. So I'm just doing value scale everywhere I go. This is a slightly different way to do the exact same thing. So we're going to do dark all around the edges, and then we don't want any hard lines. We want everything to slowly change, smooth value change from dark to light. Same thing here. The hardest thing about this is that students want to be able to do this instantly, and it's all about practice. So you have to make sure that you're practicing lots. Well, this is a good way to practice. On this project, by the time you finish, you're going to be really good at doing value scale with color. So we're going to make this whole Y look nice and rounded. I'm doing dark at all the edges of the entire Y. So it's going to kind of pop. All right. Dark all around the edges. And then lighter in the center. Okay. Had a little piece of paper underneath it, made a line. Now, remember, you come back with the white. Come back with the white. Make it nice and velvety smooth, nice and thick color pencil. You want everything to be very waxy. Waxy, thick coloring pencil, just like it's paint almost. That's going to make everything look really, really high quality. Nice and professional. Some people will look at it and not even be able to tell that it's colored pencil. Then you're going to come back with your black, because the black is that really contrasting. It's going to, you push it in the darkest areas. It's going to make it look really nice and rounded. It's going to add a lot of three-dimensionality to it. I'm going to put a little red right back on top of that because I got a little too much black. So I'm going to blend it with the red. And same thing down here. Add a little bit of the shadow in spots where I want it to look a little bit more deep. Maybe on the bottom of the Y. All right. Blend some red back on top of it because it's all about going back and forth, blending your colors, getting that nice, beautiful color. Now let's talk about complex color. Complex color is whenever you're going from one color to a totally different color. And the trick to this is that you want to go to colors that are right next to each other on the color wheel. So for instance, you could go from red to orange to yellow, but you wouldn't want to go from orange to blue because orange and blue are opposites and they make a brown. They make a neutral. So if you want to make a neutral, then go opposite. If you don't want to make a brownish color, then make sure you're just blending in the Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. You got to stay in that order. So on this one, let's pay attention to, from my red-orange color, I'm going to go from one color. Remember, I'm starting off, I want to do this whole little section. Maybe I'll do this whole little section here. I'm going to start off with red, just as dark and velvety smooth as I can get it. So here it goes. Almost like a heart shape that's coming up here. And then I'm going to start to lighten it. Then I'm going to blend in my orange color. So when I put the orange on, I'm going to go a little bit lighter because it's already in the lighter section. And you want it to go all the way to white in the center part because we're trying to make it look like it's kind of popping out, right? So I'm going to blend some orange on there. Then I can go to yellow. And around the edges, I can put darker orange. That'd be fine. And let it blend up to the lighter orange in the center. Darker orange on that outer edge to try and make it feel like it's three-dimensional. And then on the center part, we can go to yellow. Now, yellow is usually pretty bright. It's a good blender. Ooh, I made that real bright. It's a good blender for orange to go to yellow. I'm going to have to blend some more orange in there. So I put that yellow on there. And then probably going to have to blend some more orange. So I could have just gone without the yellow. But I wanted to do multiple colors, not just two. I wanted to do like 3 colors. Then I could also blend in some more red down here on the bottom. You can kind of just keep going back and forth. Depends on what you want it to do. There is no right or wrong way to blend from one color to the next in the direction that you're going. So if you want it to look like it's popping out, put your highlights in the center there. Put some white on top of it to help blend it all together. Ooh, I broke my white. That little thing just popped. Now, if you got a little dark with the color again, like I kind of think that my yellow got a little dark. So I can erase it off of there. It's going to be a little bit gummy with the eraser on there. And you'll have to probably scratch it off some because it gets real waxy. But look at the difference. If I erase a little bit, I can bring that highlight back out. And then go back with the white, really pop that highlight back out of there and make it very three-dimensional. So there's a little gummy piece right there, scratch it off. All right, so this kind of has like a little, looks like a little heart type thing. You can add another little highlight over here if you wanted to erase a little bit more of that yellow. And then the black, to make it really three-dimensional, I'm going to push the shadows in a couple of spots in the darkest areas. And remember, don't put a hard line, make it get blended from dark to light. And if you're having a hard time blending the black, you can always go back in with that color, either red or orange or yellow, and blend on top of the black, and it will help make it more three-dimensional. So here goes a little bit of black. I'm trying to make it go dark to light with the black in this little short area. It's really a little bit harder with the black because it goes black to light, really, really short area. And then you can take, in this spot, I might use red and just blend on top of it, make sure my black looks really pretty, right? And if you feel like you lost some of your red and you want more red, you can always blend red back on top of it. That is a personal choice, as long as you have value scale from dark to light. Dark to light, I can't express that enough. In fact, what if we made this into a heart shape? We could create extra little things within because it started to look like a heart, so why not make it look like a heart shape and really emphasize that fact, right? That's kind of fun. And then bringing that black back on the bottom edges a little bit. That's creativity. That's what that is. Happy accidents, as Bob Ross likes to say. All right, so you can see that the color is way more complex because we actually have red, orange, yellow, and white and black. Over here, we just have blue with some white and some black, and some red with some white and some black. So if you look at these a little bit further away, they look nice and three-dimensional. Really beautiful with that nice smooth, velvety smooth color pencil. All right.